Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening all dear viewers. Welcome to my show Sportstalk. This is your host Hussein Mahmood bringing you debates on UC TV. Many thanks for all your support and encouragement so far. Please do continue to like, share and comment on our media content being published and subscribe to UC TV for ongoing notifications. We're certainly getting closer to understanding why we are not yet seeing British South Asians breaking into top flight football, so do stay tuned. All episodes are available up on demand on my Facebook fan page Sportstalk TV and UC TV YouTube with a green logo. Watch, like and share your views. We're breaking the mould and making the change happen. The topic we're pressing needs attention, so Sportstalk provides the platform to give our youth hope and added intelligence on and off the pitch so that they can advance in their developments across all areas and break through. Diversity, equality and a fair qualification system being my number one agenda. We've learnt so much so far and brought people who have shared their knowledge and experiences ranging from coaches, referees, semi-pro players and the management teams. We are most definitely getting closer to breaking the mould and making the change happen. Because one man can achieve great things, but a team can achieve incredible things. Power of the people. Alongside myself today, I have my guest. Started playing at school level, then went on to play for Blackburn Rovers, finally getting signed on for Preston North End at the age of 9. He continued to play for local Sunday League fixtures also with Blackburn United. Spent his entire time at Preston till 18, professional level, namely Hafizur Rahman. So without further ado, let's bring in my guest and let's talk sports. Hafizur Rahman, assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, my brother? You okay?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Am I okay to call you Hafi?
I prefer Hafi.
Hafi, yeah? Fantastic. Have you been watching some of our shows on Sportstalk?
Yeah, I've watched a few people. Adnan, one of them, was one of my close friends. I watched his.
Yeah, excellent. You know Adnan, yeah?
Good friends, yeah.
Oh, very good. A very good show with him, midfielder, professional level, professional player for Pakistan as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Are you still in touch with him?
Yeah, we talk here and there.
Fantastic, good stuff. Look, Hafi, there's a lot we want to know, a lot we want to learn about. First of all, we want to know, as you know, as the introduction goes, why we're not seeing British South Asians getting into top flight football. Yeah, and we want to obviously see from our youngsters' point of view, what happened with yourself, how did things go with you? So do you want to just start by telling us and telling our viewers, how did it start for you?
Well, it was actually quite a funny story of how it started. A lot of people think that I started off at Blackburn United, but it started off when I was 6 playing in a school tournament. I wasn't really a fan of football. My dad and my brother were crazy about it.
Okay.
But I used to play on the playground and stuff, and one of the teachers came up to me and told me that he wants me to enter. So I just gathered my friends from school and then we just entered the tournament, and there was only 3 teams. So there was a Mill Hill Blue and another Sunday League team, and it was just us Asian lads against Sunday League players.
Okay.
And only 3 teams showed up, and the tournament got cancelled on the day 3 times, and they were saying there's not enough teams here. But then they decided we'll have a little league, each team plays each other twice, and we came second because obviously Asians never played football before Sunday League wise. And we did well. I actually scored 2 own goals in that tournament.
2 own goals?
2 own goals.
That can't be great, could it, Hafiz?
No, it wasn't going great at all. Scored 2 own goals, but I also scored 2 goals. And after the game, there was a man in a Blackburn Rovers jacket came up to my dad and he was like, I want him to come.
This is 11-a-side, right, Hafiz?
No, this was 7-a-side.
7-a-side, right, okay.
So just my friends from school.
Right, friendly, yeah.
And then a guy in a Blackburn Rovers jacket comes up to my dad saying, I want him to come on trial at Blackburn Rovers. And at the time, we didn't think anything of it because we were thinking, there's no way this is going to be serious.
Sure. How long ago was this now, Hafiz, you talking?
I was 6, so this was in 2007.
All right, okay, 2007, yeah.
Yeah. So they used to have training at their training centre on Fridays, and I was there, and then I got signed for Blackburn Rovers, and still at the time I didn't think anything of it. I was thinking there's no way I can be a
professional. Okay, well, just slow down for us there a little bit, because you got signed over. He just spots you playing football, scouts at that Blackburn Rovers, yeah. What did you have to do? Did you have to go down there, start playing at the training sessions? Or
Yeah, it was just training.
Gameplay? How did he sign you on? Why would he just sign you on? I mean,
it was just a trial. Like I said, they only trained on Fridays.
Right, okay.
It was like an hour training session, and I was doing well.
Right, 1 hour session on a Friday.
Yeah. And then I was doing quite well, so he goes, "We'll sign you up."
Okay.
So I was there for about 7-8 months, and then the main head of the youth team came up to me and he was like, "You're not tall enough to actually make it." At the time I was quite surprised because I was thinking, I'm only 7 years old. How can you say I'm not tall enough?
Okay, alright, okay.
And that just completely fell apart at Blackburn Rovers, and then it just moved on from there.
Well, who was that person? Who was to say that you weren't tall enough? Was it a senior member of the youth team?
He was a senior member of the overall youth system, so from under 9s to under 18s.
The part of the selection committee and so forth. Yeah, that must have been quite damaging for you, Hafiz. Hafi.
It was quite weird at the time because I was still deciding, is this actually happening? So when they said I wasn't tall enough, it did hurt me a bit. But I'd only been playing football for 7-8 months, so I didn't really think anything of it at the time. And I knew Blackburn Rovers were in the Premier League then. They had brilliant players in each age group. Yeah. Like, I've got a friend in the year above who was at Blackburn Rovers at the time, Serhat, who's now a professional footballer. So
is he one of your friends? Is he?
Yeah, he's a good friend.
Was he playing at the same time you was playing there?
Yeah, he was a year above me, and the hype was all about him. All I could hear is Serhat this, Serhat that, and I was thinking it's going to be very hard for me to play anywhere for Blackburn Rovers, and then it just moved on from there.
All right, okay. In terms of your positional play, what position did you play in there?
I preferred playing right wing, but I also played left wing, and as I got older I went to like midfield, striker. I was never a defensive player.
Okay, where did you play for at Blackburn Rovers?
At Blackburn Rovers I never really got much game time, but it was a winger.
Right, okay, alright, see. So what happened from there then, Hafi? So then, where did it go from there?
After I went from Blackburn Rovers, I was just playing Sunday League for Blackburn United. Funny enough, the coach for Blackburn United lives next door to me.
Coach for Blackburn United, right? Yeah, okay.
And he used to see me playing on the streets.
Just got a picture up on there, Hafi. If I could just see that picture. Tell us about that picture, Hafi.
That was my first year playing for Blackburn United. It was the end of year and we were having like a presentation evening for all the Blackburn United teams from like under 9s to under 16s.
Okay, alright.
And the coach knew I was kind of like an outstanding player, and he told me that you're not going to get an award today. He was like, it's not fair that because you would win every award there is, players player, managers player, or the league's best player. So I was like, that's fine. And then some of my friends, they actually got awards. Momo, I'm sure
Momo?
Heard of him. Yeah,
I have heard of Momo, yeah.
We were good friends, we played really well together.
Is he a friend of yours as well, is he? You've got some good friends, haven't you, Hafi?
Yeah, we're really good friends. We've been playing football together for years. But yeah, that day, I think he won 2 awards, players player, managers player.
Okay.
And it was coming towards the end of the ceremony, and then weirdly my name got announced saying that it's just a special award for this player. And then I still have the trophy at home. It's got like 6 stars on it, just popping out, and it just says Special Players Award to Hafiz.
Nice, very nice. Great accomplishment. Are you still playing for Blackburn United?
No, I've moved on.
The Blackburn United used to be Blackburn Muslim United, right?
I'm not completely sure what it was, but I was just playing.
It's always been Blackburn United when you started. Sure. All right, Hafi, tell us what happened from there then in your pro career, kind of semi-pro and pro.
There was a trial day at Preston North End, and this was when my dad started to realise I was good at football. So he was searching online, he was looking around, and then he found a trial day at Preston. And so the trial day would be, you do training from 9 o'clock till 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And then you'd get a lunch, and then you'd train again from 1 till 3 o'clock.
Okay, alright. So it's a full day trial kind of thing?
Yeah, a full day trial, but it went on for like a week or so because it was the summer holidays.
Okay.
And between the 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, I must have played really well. And just at the end of the first day, 3 lads, one who's become a pro now, his name's Jack Baxter, the coach just came up to us and he goes, we'd like to sign you for Preston.
Okay, excellent.
And this was just after literally a day of training.
And the first day, that was a week-long course in the summer.
Yeah.
And the first day of that, kind of half the days, training, the kind of Preston North then took you on.
Yeah.
You must be pretty good there, Hafi. All right. Or is it your smile that makes it work? So tell me then, Hafi, what happened from there then? You went over to Preston then?
So Preston would obviously I was signed on, and then I went on. I was just playing and playing, and they'd be doing training on a Wednesday and a Friday for an hour or so, 2 hours. Just kept playing. We had games on Sundays, which were an hour long. We'd play teams like Rochdale, Carlisle, Oldham, and then you'd have the odd 1 or 2 times where you'd be playing the big clubs like Man United,
like in the cup games or fixtures or something.
We wouldn't really come up against them because they had their own league. So we'd play them friendlies, but we would still play them quite often.
All right, so you kind of played the academy level, the academies at Manchester United and so forth, kind of thing,
So we played the under 9s of like Man United, under 9s of Liverpool.
You played them, yeah?
Yeah.
And okay, all right. How did you get on there?
I think for my age group, we were actually really good in every single position, and I think that against
a good bunch of lads at that time.
Yeah, I think against every big team we did really well. Like we wouldn't go to a team like Man United and get scared and be like, oh, these are the best players at their age.
Well, it can be quite daunting, can't it, Afi, really? Because especially when you look at the kind of professionals they have in the academy and the type of training they're doing, they'll be quite ready for that game, won't they? I'm sure.
Yeah, they were quite ready. I think going to their training facility as well, you see millions being put into it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not just scary, but it's also like you love to be there. You're thinking players like Rooney or Ronaldo are in the exact same place doing training.
Yeah.
It also excites you at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. And how did you kind of fit in? Why did you mould in?
I think for me it actually took some time to fit in with everyone. Of course, being an Asian, but I think as soon enough people started to realise I was a good footballer, and then I started making friends, and then I felt more comfortable. But I think my early years it was a bit of a struggle because I was the only Asian, and I did feel left out at times.
Well, okay, Hafi, right. Well, this is it, you see, and I'm learning more and more every week, and we get all different angles of the game of professionals and managers and stuff. When you're in that position, and you like you say you are Asian, and you've got to kind of fit in, and we are Asian. What kind of things were you doing? So if you're kind of giving advice to somebody else who's coming through, or another youngster playing at 9, 10 and 11, and you're feeling what you felt, how did you overcome this? What did you feel? How did you overcome this? And what advice would you kind of give to the youth?
I think playing football, you just need to express yourself whilst playing. I think the better you are, the more people start to like you, because they start to put more trust in you, and you're just playing with them on the field. They enjoy playing with you, because as a youngster, it's not always about winning. It's just enjoying yourself. And I just think you need to be yourself. Like, you don't need to be a different person. Like for me, I was the only Asian. I didn't think I had to be someone else just for them to like me. Okay,
all right, okay. Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Express yourself. Yeah. When I'm saying a fair qualification system and diversity being my number one agenda, do you think it was fair?
I think it's hard to explain if it's fair or not, because I think you need the perfect protection from your family as well. You need the support system. I think for me it was all quite fair. The coaches never treated me any different. The players never treated me any different. I think you just need the right support to go far in life with anything, to be honest. You shouldn't just think that because I'm from this background, I'm this colour, that it's going to be hard for me.
Okay, I understand that. You make a very good point, actually, and I appreciate that as well. So tell me more about fitting in at Preston then, and where did you go from there? How long were you there for?
I was at Preston from 9 till 18. It actually took me about 4 years to completely fit in with the lads, where I can joke about pranks. We were always pranking each other in the changing room. Like, we'd be running,
just a banter and stuff. Yeah,
just like hiding each other's stuff, getting boots wet, just having a bit of a joke and a laugh. But obviously from 9 to 11 we were all new. It was like just everyone was from different areas. Then we all grew up together, got contracts together. It's like we just became a family, because we had the same team from under 9s to under 16s. No one really got released. No one really moved on.
Okay, so you kind of stayed together for a while. I mean, 9 to 18, 9 years. Yeah. So you were with most of them lads for 5, 6, 7 years. Yeah. And you do build a strong bond, don't you, really, with that. Tell me more about the type of training that you was doing, the kind of professionalism that's required, what kind of attitude, what kind of standards are required to not only fit in, but stay in?
Yeah, I think playing from my school team or just playing with the school lads, you see the difference. Like even when I was playing for Blackburn United, it was just a load of boys running around. But when you're at Preston North End, they teach you certain things like positioning, where you have to stay here. You can't just, if you're playing left back, you can't just disappear.
You can't wander off. No.
Yeah, it's much more professional, but you enjoy it more because you get a better understanding, and ability will always be there. I just think to have a better understanding, you'll improve as a player also.
Take on advice. Yeah, is that a lot of listening?
Yeah, I think
a lot
that's
of off the pitch learning.
Yeah, and like we'd have our games recorded. I think you'd have to watch your games back to see where you've made mistakes, where you've done well.
I can see how that's going to help, because looking at yourself, you can see different things, right? And you can kind of analyse where you kind of go wrong and go right and go wrong. What happened from there then, really, Hafiz? How come you didn't really press on, or what kind of what were your dreams at that stage? What were your aspirations at that stage?
As a youngster,
did you feel as though you were reaching the levels where you wanted to be, or did you?
Yeah.
Of course, you wanted to press on and be in the top 4 Premiership teams. Surely you had that dream.
As a youngster, between like 9 and 12, I didn't really think anything of it. It was actually quite funny. When I was 12, we were all getting our contracts, and at this point, it was always a 1-year contract. But at 12, it was a 2-year contract, and it was a big thing to get it, because you were going from 12 to 14. And it's quite funny because I'd put on a lot of weight.
Okay.
And a new coach had just come into our youth, like the system, and the coaches only took our parents into the room, and he was like, "We're gonna give your child a contract." Normally we'd go in as well, so I was just training that day, and I came off the pitch, and we were going home, me and my dad, and then my dad was like, "You've not got a contract," just for a joke, and then I completely broke down in tears, and I was just crying all the way home from Preston to devastated completely. Got home, I was just sat in the bath, I remember.
So he just let you carry on crying, did he?
He didn't even say anything of it. I was literally just in the bath crying, and my sister was like, "Just don't cry, it was meant to happen, you find somewhere else." And it was like 4 hours later.
It was dragged, this one, hadn't
dragged on the line, and then obviously we were eating.
That's torment.
Yeah, it was honestly heartbreaking.
And ripped your heart out.
And then we all just sat down, and then I was still crying, and my mum was like, "Just don't worry about it." And the next thing you know, my dad just pulls out a paper out of his jacket, and then he gave it to me, and he was like, "Just read it." And then at the bottom, he just said, "You've got a 2-year contract."
Oh, excellent.
And,
excellent.
I was
real turn of emotions.
I didn't know if I should be happy or angry, because he made me go through that. But I think at that point I realised how much football actually means to me.
What it meant, okay.
Because before then you're still a youngster, you're just having fun. But I realised at that point. But I had put a lot of weight on, and the coach did say to me, the coach said to my dad, he was like, "He has put a lot of weight on, and football's going to start getting more serious now. He needs to control his diet and stuff." And the good thing was, I would have probably gotten released, but there was another coach, and he was quite close to my dad. He was later on my youth team manager.
Okay.
He was like, "He's a good player, just give him some time, he'll be fine." And I had put on a lot of weight, and then obviously the summer came, we had our break, and then we were going to under 13s, and then I started I wouldn't be going to gym, I'd just be running, treadmill, losing it all again, proper dieting. And then I think at that point I realised this is what I want to do and become a footballer. Like, it's the only thing I want to do. Obviously I'll focus in school.
Education,
but
of course.
It's my priority to become a footballer.
Alright, excellent. So is that when you got your scholarship? Am I right? Did you get your scholarship? Is that when you got it?
You get your scholarship when you're 16, so at under 13s, you still go on to, you say under 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s.
You get your contracts.
Yeah. And then when you get to like 14, it becomes a much more serious, like, you see the youth team players, you start training with them, and training with them is a massive thing. And then you realise you need to get your scholar if you want to become a footballer. If you don't get your scholar, it's going to be very difficult.
So there's and then again, like your friend Adnan also mentioned, levels within levels, right?
Yeah.
So you got your levels. So when you got from 12 to 14, right?
Yeah.
You got your second contract. How did that make you feel?
Honestly, I was really happy, but I realised at that point I do need to focus now if I do
start setting the standards at that stage. Yeah.
And I think personally between 13 and 16, as a team as well, but for myself, I think I just hit another level of playing wise.
Okay.
I was just performing week in, week out, no bad games, goals, assists, everything.
Yeah, full rounded kind of a game. Yeah, feeling happy about yourself.
Yeah, and
feeling quite content.
Yeah, you'd be if you were to play the year above, the coach might say to you, "You're playing for the under-15s next week." It was a big thing because they'd probably take one, and I was week in, week out just playing for the year above. And I was just scoring non-stop. And
were you playing up front then? Most
no, I was still a winger at that
Still
time.
winger, yeah. But cutting in?
I'd love to cut in and just hit it.
I can imagine.
But yeah,
a lot of that.
Yeah.
Are you left-footed, right-footed?
I'm left-footed.
Oh, I was going to say. So you're starting on the right, cutting in, aren't you? Hafi? Yeah, I'm onto you. I can see what you're doing. Okay, so tell me more, Hafi, in terms of your scholarship.
Yeah.
So you got the scholarship, right?
Yeah.
Excellent, great work. That was a big shout, wasn't it?
I think I was doing quite well between 15 and 16, and I genuinely believed I'd be the first one to get a scholarship. But what happened was...
Within your set of lads, was it at that time, yeah?
Even the lads knew I was quite standout at the time, and I felt as though I'd be the first one to get it, and I'd get it early.
Excellent. Hafi, I'm just going to pop you on hold there. Very interesting. I want to know all about that. Guys, we're going to go for a short break. Please stay tuned with us. We'll be right back. Assalamu alaikum, welcome back all dear viewers. It's your host Hussein Mahmood on Sportstalk TV on UC TV. We've got my guest with us today, Hafiz Ul Rahman. Assalamu alaikum, Hafiz. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Perfect. So, Hafiz, one thing I want to mention to you, you mentioned to me you're playing at 14, 15 and 16 at Preston.
Yeah.
Do you want to just tell us a bit more about that, how the standard of game was? And
the standard improved. It was massive. Like, players were getting better, players were getting bigger and stronger. It was just overall, it was much more serious. Games, it wasn't just about having fun. It was about you need to win. Even though it wasn't, we were still 14, 15 at the time. You had to win the games. For you,
quite competitive, was it? Yeah. Hafiz,
yeah. For you to get a scholarship, you had to win games because the coach would look at the team and be like, if they're not winning, we can't give these players.
It's understandable, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But I think at 14, 15, 16, not just myself of how I said I improved, I think overall our team was the best Preston had for a while. The coaches were saying, the coaches named us the golden era of lads. He was saying our age group and the year above, I think the best set of lads that I've seen since I was from under 9, seeing the youth team at that age. I was thinking there's no way anyone was better than our age group or the year above.
Brilliant. It sounds really, really good. Did a lot of them guys actually go on, kick on?
I think It was quite difficult because when we, at that point, a lot of players from our age group and the year above started getting injuries, massive injuries that affected their career. It was just hard for them to have that massive change. And I genuinely did believe if they weren't going to make it at Preston, they would make it somewhere else. And even now, when I see them or talk to them, I still think they could play at the highest level. That's how good they were.
Excellent. And what kind of other football were you playing at the time? Were you just kind of sticking at Preston and not doing anything else at the time?
I think I shouldn't be mentioning this unless someone saw it, but I'd be playing 5-a-side football, 7-a-side tournaments.
At the same time when you was at Preston?
At the time, I'd be coming home from Preston 7:30, and I'd be going to the Blackburn soccer dome playing in a 5-a-side game with seniors when I was 13, 14 years old.
Right, okay, so tell me a little bit about that. First of all, are you allowed to do that?
No, what happened was...
I've got to put it out there for all the viewers, really. Because I'm thinking, if Preston North End obviously have signed a contract for you, with you, and injuries is a big problem. They don't want you getting injured at soccer dome.
It was actually quite funny. We had a tournament in Haslingden. It was for an under-16s, and we won the tournament, and they put it in the newspaper. And one of our coaches obviously comes up to me. He goes, I've just seen a lad on the newspaper, Hafizul Rahman, do you know him by any chance, playing in a 7-a-side tournament? I was like, no, that definitely wasn't me.
Oh no!
And he was like, I understand that you want to play football, but you just be careful with injuries and stuff. He goes, obviously it's great that you're playing. We see that you're passionate about the game, but just be careful because we can't really do anything about it if you get injured. But it didn't bother me. I'd be playing 5-a-side football every day.
Just only playing football, right?
Just playing football. We wouldn't. It'd be a league, and you'd have your own team. But me and my brother, we wouldn't have a team because obviously people struggle to play every day because we wanted to play every day. So we just gave our number to Soccer Dome. We said if a team ever needs 2 players, just call us.
Just give us a shout.
Yeah, and every day most likely a team would need players. We'd just go in with random players, no idea of who's in our team, and just tear everyone apart.
You know who's on your team, that's about it.
Yeah, we literally just, honestly, I remember one time we were playing against this team, and the ball came to me, and he kicked me, but then I still had the ball, and I don't know what I did. I don't even remember what I did, and then I somehow got past him, and then the referee blew the whistle. I was thinking, what's that for? I assumed it was for the kick. And then he goes, I've never seen anyone do such a good skill before. I had to stop the game and just clap.
Really?
And he just stopped the game and just started clapping, and all the players were just like, wow, unbelievable.
But you don't know, you couldn't do that again?
I don't think I could.
It's great. Okay, so that sounded really like a really interesting journey. Your, kind of run up to Preston, how you got to Preston. Tell me about the workload and the kind of lifestyle changes that you're kind of going through at that stage whilst you're at school, and how do you deal with the pressures of being a professional footballer?
I think there's a lot of pressure because whilst being at school, you see all your friends, they're like, oh, he's playing for Preston North End, he's playing against these lot, he's playing against the best players in England, and they're like, he's going to be the next big star because they've only seen me play with them.
Yeah,
they know how good I am, but they've not seen the other Preston lads. They don't know how competitive it is. You're not actually just competing with Preston players. You're competing against every single player in that country, because if someone gets released, a player from Man United could just walk into the team. They won't even have to trial. The team will be like, he's from Man United. He's going to be signed. So it was quite difficult, and the workload. It changes quite a lot because everyone becomes more physical, everyone grows, everyone starts going gym, starts putting muscle on. You have to adapt to the game and how it is
conditioning.
You're just constantly conditioning, and you have to be able to complete 90 minutes without getting tired, or you will be subbed off, and it's your fault if you're not fit enough to play.
I imagine it's quite a point you mentioned there, because I do coaches, analysts and stuff like that are watching not only the game, but they're watching every player quite vigorously, aren't they? Really, quite carefully.
Yeah.
And they're not monitoring the ball as such. They're monitoring the player.
Yeah.
I imagine. And if you're kind of slacking in any department, you find they're going to just take you off and
it's
not call you back on again.
It's not just like you said. It's not just footballing wise. It's off the pitch, on the pitch. I think a big one for Preston was education as well. They'd look to see how you were in school. If your attitude wasn't right, they'd tell you you're not playing. you need to sort, because school is just as important. So
Sure.
it was kind of a two-way thing. Like even footballing wise, no matter how good you were, if your attitude wasn't right on the pitch, the coach would say, just come off. You're not doing what I'm saying. Like you might be taking on 10 players, but the coach might be saying, why are you not just passing the ball? It's
Sure.
just simple.
Sure. Stick to the game.
Yeah.
And attitude's a really big one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just the shouting. It's the way you actually see the game and fitting in, right? And how do you maintain that? How do you stay in the team? How do you? Because you've had a career from 9 to 18.
Yeah.
That's 9 years, right? And I want to know about, towards the latter stages of your career. But how do you maintain that consistency in that team?
I think even if you have a bad game, you don't think of the negatives. Like you don't put yourself down. When I was a youngster, I would do that quite a lot. Like if I was to have a bad game, I'd get quite upset and I wouldn't talk for like a day or two. But I think as you go,
especially if you make a bit of a mistake and it hurts.
Yeah.
You concede from it.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like if you concede a goal and it's your fault, it hurts you quite a bit. And as you grow older, you need to realise it's gone. You can't do anything about it. You being upset about it's not going to change anything. You just need to know how to improve, and I think that's how you stay consistent. You just continuously learn from your mistakes.
Great. Hafi, you mentioned you're playing up against the likes of real competitive players, skillful players.
Yeah.
Where's one of the who's the kind of more skillful players you've actually played with, or the teams that you played with, or what's one of the toughest matches you've played?
There's a lot of players that I've come up against that are unbelievably good. I think a big one that you would know is Mason Greenwood for Man United.
Okay. You played against him?
Played against him. Played against Angel Gomez, who was also at United.
Yeah.
I've played against players for City who've gone on to become pros. Reece Williams for Liverpool, we were teammates at Lancashire. But I think playing against those was the best feeling ever, because these lot are going to be future stars, as in the best players in the world.
Absolutely.
Like I remember we were playing against Man United once, and
what was this, under 9s, under 10?
No, this would have been under 15s.
Oh, under 15s. Good level then. So decent level.
This was when we all knew of each other, because obviously social media, you see them, the big stars. You see Man United saying this star's coming up.
A lot of them will kind of go on loans and stuff. Out to other teams.
We were playing Man United, and Angel Gomez, I don't know who he's at now. He was the youngest player to make his debut for United, and he must have been about 40 yards out. And I was on the bench at the time, and I was just watching the game, and the ball was stuck under his foot, as in he didn't set himself up or anything, and I just seen him outside foot just whip it, and it just went straight into the top corner. And I was just looking at this and I was thinking, these players are unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah. That's where you kind of set the standards, don't you? I mean, how did you up the game from there? And what did that make you feel? And how did you up it?
I think when I was at 14, 15 and I was playing really well, I genuinely believed I was at there, not played like Angel Gomez, but I thought I did well enough to go up against Man United, and if I was to play against their right back, he would be scared to play against me. And I always did well against United. I think the best games I played was against Man City. We hadn't played them for like 5
what level was this, Hafi? What age was this?
This was under 16.
Under 16. So you doing pretty good, weren't you, Hafi?
This was
right the way up to 15, 16. Manchester City, Manchester United. Yeah. So go on, tell me about this Manchester City game.
So Man City game. This was when I was doing really well, and I was expected to start the game. And me and my friend from Blackburn, his name's Prez, we got stuck in traffic, and we had to arrive an hour before the game. It was from under 9 to under 16, you had to arrive an hour before, because obviously team talk, getting changed and stuff. Sure. And we were half an hour late, so kickoff was at 11:30. We arrived at 11 o'clock. And I still assumed I'm going to be starting, because we didn't really have any wingers at the time, and I was doing well, so I thought I'd be starting. But then the coach came up to me during the warm-up. He was like, look, I can't start you. He goes, it's not fair because you did come late. It wasn't anger or anything. He was just saying
systems and processes.
The system how it is. You've come late, so we can't really start you. So then I was like, that's fine. And I was actually still quite annoyed. I was even watching the game. Phil Foden and Sancho were on the other pitch playing against West Brom. And then I just seen Sancho get the ball cut in and just whip it straight into the top corner. And I was
Again, but you're thinking, how are these guys doing it?
I was just thinking, what is going on? And I was telling everyone on the bench, I was like, just look up what this player is doing. Now you see Sancho, who's one of the best youngsters in the world. But I remember I was watching their game because I was too annoyed to watch our own game. I was thinking I should be starting. And Man City have got a player called Taylor Richards. And I think he's one of the most skillful players I've ever come across.
Okay, you have the pleasure of playing with him, against him?
Against him.
Okay,
he was
against
doing things on the pitch that you see Messi and Ronaldo doing.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, he was
Good,
on another
really good.
level, really good.
Taylor Richards?
Yeah, I think he's at Brighton now.
On loan? Or did they release him?
No, he left.
Oh,
You see these youngsters moving on now to get more game time. So I think he just left and he decided to sign for Brighton. And he scored, he made it 1-0. And then just before half-time, he made it 2-0. He was a
Is it a centre forward, is he?
He was a centre midfielder.
Centre mid, yeah. Attacking centre mid, yeah.
Yeah, and we had played against City about 4 or 5 times within those 2, between like 15, 16. And every game he was that best player.
Performing well every time.
Performing well. And
can I just ask you there, Hafi? We're talking about British South Asians getting to top flight football. That level, or that level of football you're playing is certainly en route to top flight football. Yeah. Fantastic class, standard academies, and so forth. Were there other Asian lads at the time with you playing at that time, or how many times have you shared the pitch with other Asian lads at the same time?
I've never really shared a pitch with an Asian player, and honestly, from 9 to 16, I don't remember a single player that I've actually come across that's Pakistani, Indian, or Bengali.
Yeah. Could you see my question then, Hafi? I mean, it'd be great to share a pitch with another Asian, wouldn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I've looked.
So
around.
most of the time, you're kind of a solo.
Yeah, I've always been an outsider.
Yeah, I'm kind of an outsider, and it's funny you mentioned that word outsider, because when we're talking about diversity, fair qualification system, really shouldn't be feeling like that, Hafi.
Yeah, it's.
And
it's only because, obviously, for myself, I didn't like feel left out or anything. It's just I'm the only Asian that I've played against many teams, and I've never seen any other Asian in my age group ever.
How do you think we're going to see Asians come through, Hafi? Do you feel as though you was giving your best shot and you were performing and you was getting noticed at them at them levels, Man City, Manchester United? Were you giving them a run for their money?
I think I was. I think every team that we came up against, I think they didn't know who I was.
Yes.
I think overall as a team, they didn't know who we were, but it felt as though if I was to go to a team now, they'd know who I was. They'd be like, we've played against him and he's a really good player.
So they did acknowledge British South Asians.
Yeah.
Breaking the mould in Hafizur Rahman.
Yeah.
Yeah, mashallah. So we should see more of it, inshallah. And we're obviously there. And one of them things is you never really shared a pitch with another Asian, British South Asian. Inshallah, we will see British South Asians breaking through. These kind of programs and these kind of first-hand experiences really happy. Yeah. A lot of footballers haven't quite made it as far as you have. Yeah. Unfortunately, inshallah, we want to break that mold. We want to get further. So it's great to take your insight on that. Just coming back onto, I'd love to talk to you more about Man City and Man United, but just coming back onto your Preston North End career, where did it go from 14 to 16?
14 to 16, I was obviously doing well, and it was coming to scholar time. And like I said, I thought I was going to get one straight away. What happened was I was playing in a 5-a-side game in Soccer Dome. And
don't tell me you got injured.
We were playing a really bad team, and I started doing things on the pitch that I was just taking the mick. I was just having fun. Like I wasn't even scoring. I'd just be running around in circles with the ball. And then I went to do a skill, and then I sprained my ankle.
At Soccer Dome.
At Soccer Dome, yeah.
They're not great pitches. Them on there's a lot of ankle injuries.
Yeah.
Because they kind of sink in the surface, and okay.
I knew it was my fault, and
bad injury.
It was a sprained ankle that I forced on longer than it should have. What happened was, obviously I knew the scholar time was coming and I couldn't spend my time being injured.
What were you, 15 then? 15?
I was just 15, turning 16 soon enough.
Right, okay, so a bit nervous then?
I was very nervous then, and with this injury, I knew I couldn't waste my time being injured and getting fit. And I spent 3 years playing with the injury. I just put bandage on, and I just put DP, and I just go play for Preston.
Did you not tell them?
I didn't want to. I told them at first, but then I had to. I couldn't waste time because I knew Scholar was coming. So then we were playing against Shrewsbury once, and the coach told me,
Yeah.
I know that you're injured. He was like, you need to tell
He can
us."
see it,
He could see it,
right?
and he was like, you need to tell us that you're injured because we're not gonna care that you're injured whilst playing. We're just gonna judge you on the way you're playing. So
Yeah, of course.
So they can't really say you've been injured when we're gonna let you off. So then I knew I had to take a break, and then I got fit, and then I started doing well again, and then that's when my scholar came.
Okay, at 16, yeah. So what happens when you get a scholarship? How does life change from there? What happens?
You feel like a professional footballer. You're just training every day, playing football. You're with them every day. It's just football constantly. That's all you do. It's no education.
How about game time and stuff? Are you getting paid at that stage at scholarship?
Yeah, that's why you feel like a footballer. You're getting paid. You think you've made it.
Yeah, so you start to get paid for the game you're playing. You get paid for training as well.
It's just weekend. You just get You get paid weekly, whether you're playing or not, whether you're injured, whether you're just part of the team.
You get a flat kind of pay.
Yeah.
Is it weekly or monthly, by the way?
It'd be monthly.
Right. Okay. I just like to know these things. Okay, so what happened from there? So you've got the scholarship.
Yeah.
You're 16, and how long is it?
The scholarship is a 2-year contract. How it works is you're basically an when you first get it, you're an under 17, but you also have the year above, so it becomes one. So it's under 17 and under 18.
18, right? Okay.
And like I said, we were the 2 best age groups going, and everyone thought we were going to win everything that year.
Yeah, as a team.
Yeah.
As a team,
team, everyone thought we were just going to take it to another level because the year above were really good as well. Like I said, if any of them could become professionals right now, playing for anyone, they always have that high level of playing.
Okay, so at what stage did you actually go into Preston first team?
I never got to witness the first team, but what you do is you get your 2-year contract, and then they obviously tell you if you get a professional or not.
But why not Hafi?
I think what I struggle with most is my injuries. I think a lot of people that were in football knew how bad my injuries actually were.
Is that kind of the coaching team around you? Everybody within the setup knew about this injury. Which injury was it? Is it the ankle injury?
It was my knee injury. I'd done my ACL.
ACL in your knee, right?
And it puts you out of football for a year. You actually need an operation for it. What it is it was actually pre-season, and I was doing really well. I played like 6 games. I must have scored like 6 goals and like 10 assists. And we came up against Wigan, and the pitch was it was raining that day, and then I went sprinting for the ball, and I was going at such a speed that I couldn't control myself. So the player had cut in, and I was going so fast. I went to stop, and as I stopped, my knee went one way. And I went the other, and I just heard it snap.
Ouch! Did you actually hear the snap?
Not just me, but people from like 20 yards away heard the snap. It was that loud.
Ouch, ouch, ouch. And what kind of support did you get from Preston and the sporting staff and the physios?
They obviously pay for the operation. They look after you, the recovery. They tell you.
Because you're under the scholarship contract, right?
Day in, day out, I'm with the physio.
So there is some decent level of aftercare? Yeah,
it was. I think all the coaches, physio mainly, he was like, we spent so much time together.
Is that both physical and kind of mental therapy or psychology? There's a psychological factor there, surely.
I think it's a massive one mentally, how you deal with it, because it's such a big injury, and especially for me because I was doing well at the time. To find out I'm going to be out for a year, it was heartbreaking for me, my family, all the football lads.
It really is. I can feel it. I feel it for you. I really do.
I think mentally it's a massive
so you went through the operation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had all this cast stuff going on for a while, 6 months out of the game, and even when you get back onto the pitch, did you feel different?
You do feel a lot different because you've always got the worry in the back of your head. One little thing, it might just go again.
Right, okay. And then you start overcompensating on the other parts of your body, yeah?
And you think that 1 year out, everyone's spent a year just improving, and you've just spent a year trying to get better, so you feel like
you're part of the bus up, haven't you?
Yeah.
So to tell me, in terms of aftercare, you've got this injury, because I'm thinking, look, Preston, no offence, I've got a superstar, they've got a youngster coming through the ranks, He's just done his ACL in his knee. Surely they're going to look after you and they're going to kind of bring you back in, like kind of slowly get you back into the first team squad, yeah?
What happened for me was, obviously, I ruptured it twice.
Ouch, same place, same one,
same one. What happened was, I came back fit. I completed all the tests and everything. You have to complete the tests.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you. Is it tests, right?
If you don't complete them, you're not fit.
Right, okay.
I completed all the tests. I was confirmed as fit.
Yeah.
And it was my first training back.
So this is after a full year, right?
A full year.
So is it still under 18s now?
Yeah, still. So my under 17 was wasted.
Yeah, that's gone, hasn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah, and then it came
key learning age.
It's the main part of football. I think, like you realise what men's football is like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first session back. I was all excited. Everyone was so excited. And then first session back, literally 2 minutes left of the session, went to take a shot. Just no one next to me or anything, and then my knee just buckled. And then I just didn't want to believe it happened again. I was like, there's no way.
But you knew it?
I knew it, but I was so adamant that it's not happened. I was like, it's not possible, it can't happen. And the physio kind of knew, because as soon as it happens, your knee swells up and it becomes like a balloon, and mine was just massive.
Really?
And even then I was like, it's not happened. And the funny thing is, with an ACL, it's, no matter how big it is, you can still run on it, even if it's broken. And I was meant to go for my scan, and before my scan, I was running around on the pitch. I was saying it's fine, and he was like, just go for the scan. And then I found out I'd done it again.
Was there no swelling at that stage?
There was a lot of swelling, but I still managed. I was just running about, just showing him it's not happening. Maybe it's just a bit of a sudden movement.
Denial.
Yeah.
Bit of denial in yourself because you want to carry on. So, when I'm asking you in terms of Preston first team, getting into the first team, is that really one of the main reasons why you didn't go on? Is it so your career stopped because of injury?
I think what annoys me the most is my football was stopped because of my injuries. I never actually got to prove myself when it mattered most.
So definitely injury takes you out of the career.
Yeah, I think it's such a big injuries, you can't really.
I'm so sorry to hear that, first of all, Hafi, because you look like a lovely chap. You look like a guy who puts a lot of hard work in, and you've got there, and you got through to where you needed to be. And unfortunately, what can you do with an injury? Yeah. How do you now overcome this? I mean, a lot of your friends. Even Adnan, one of your friends, he's gone on to play for Pakistan, and a couple of other people you mentioned gone on to play for bigger teams, and now, and you could definitely have been there as well. So, how do you overcome this? What kind of support are you getting? What kind of aftercare is available for you?
I think this is injuries. Yeah, no matter how strong you become, I think mentally it's massive. You see people, you see footballers going through a lot. For me, mentally, I think I'm genuinely quite strong. Like, I don't overthink things, but I do have my times, like, I'd just be at home and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, oh,
going a bit of a downer.
I could have been playing football, I should be playing football. Like, I know my dad, my brother, who are die-hard football fans, who know how good I am at football. Like, they're my family, they've seen me playing week in, week out, and I know it's quite heartbreaking for them, and they don't really show it, and I don't show it either. It's one of those when you're alone and you think about it. It's quite hard for me at times, but I do get the support from my family because they're always there. People that were in football, they're constantly messaging me, just not to see how I am, because I think that's it's a hard question to answer, especially when you've gone through such quite a lot. You can't really answer how you are. They're just there for me. They just been like just asking me about my daily life and stuff. But I think injuries.
Soft questions.
Yeah, I think injuries takes a lot out of you. When it first happened at 17, 18, I didn't really think anything of it, but when I actually got released, the fact that it didn't hurt me, it made me realise after, because I was at 12, I was crying that I didn't get a contract. Yeah, sure. When I found out I didn't get a pro, it didn't bother me, but then later on I realised, I was thinking, the fact that I've been let go because I couldn't prove myself, it was quite heartbreaking. Even now, I do still think about it at times.
Okay, so but on a positive note there, Hafi, first of all, I fully feel you, bro. I really, really do. And It's never easy, is it? Really, after you put so much effort in. What are you doing with yourself now? More on a positive note, where do you go from now in terms of your football? What are you doing at the moment with your football?
I think I'm still deciding if I want to get back into football because I am still quite young. I think.
How old are you, Hafi?
I'm 19.
MashaAllah. Still young.
Very young.
19.
Yeah.
So we're only talking a couple of years ago, you Hafi.
Yeah.
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 And how's your knee? Which one is it? Your left one?
It's my right one.
Right. Okay. So it's not your shooting peg.
No, but it's my standing one.
It's your standing peg.
I think
that's the thing, isn't
that's
it?
the problem. If it was my left one, I think I'd have been okay. But constantly standing on my right.
Yeah, to take the shot.
It's quite hard. But I'm still deciding if I want to get back into football.
Yeah. Do you feel as though you've recovered now with your injury?
I have recovered, but the problem is I just feel random pains at times, and it stops me. And like I'd be playing with my mates, and then it just starts to swell up. So I think
it does start to swell up, does it?
Yeah, just random times, and I do get pains. Like if I'm just walking or when I'm asleep and I wake up and it's just stiff. I can't really do anything about it, and that's the only problem right now.
All right, well, I do wish you all the very best with that injury there, my friend, and I wish you all the best. I really do hope that inshallah you can turn this around somehow, because you are 19, alhamdulillah, and you've had some great coaching from 9 to 18.
Yeah.
You've got the right basics, you've got the right foundation, you've stayed within the group, you've played with, under 16, 17s at Manchester United, Man City. You're doing all the right things there, Hafi.
Yeah.
So definitely big up to you there, my friend. And inshallah, hopefully you get better with this injury. Hopefully we see you on a football pitch, catch you on TV. Hopefully, inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for you. One thing I'd like to take from you right now, Hafi, really is, just like yourself, there's a lot of youth, there's a lot of youth coming through the ranks. And it can be, as you know, can be difficult. What kind of message, as a final message, would you like to give to all the competitors, to all the people working hard and trying to break through into top flight football? What message would you like to give everybody from your first-hand experience, having been through what you've been through?
I think playing football, if you want to become a footballer, you need to. It doesn't matter how big your dream is. You just got to dream and dream. Keep going. No matter what stops you, just keep going for it. For me, injuries was still a massive thing, but I think I've dealt with it quite well. And you just keep going and just express yourself. Don't worry about what others think, because being someone else, it's not who you are. You need to be yourself and just keep dreaming. Footballing wise, just show everyone what you're capable of, and you need to give your dedication and always thank the people around you. I think for me, my parents were a big one. They supported me week in, week out. People talk about just my dad that was helping me constantly, taking me to places. But my mum as well, she'd be taking me to training every Friday, and she didn't really have a care for football, but she just loved to see me play. She witnessed some of my best goals. My dad was never there. Some of the best goals my mum was always watching from the crowd, and she'd be speaking to me. She'd be like, "Come on, just keep doing well, just keep doing well." and I just hear whispered, but with my dad, it was much more aggressive and violent.
Usually the case, Hafi.
Yeah, usually the case, but if you have the right support, just keep going and just keep dreaming big, and you will get there. Just the only person that can stop you is yourself.
It's yourself. Excellent message, Hafi. I think that's an absolutely beautiful message. Take on all the advice. Listen to your parents. Your mum's the biggest fans. Your parents are the biggest fans first and foremost.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, live your dream.
Basically.
Express yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure of that. Just one final note. I'm going to be a bit of sticky subject here. Being British South Asian in that outfit within them teams as well. Do the same things. Express yourselves. Don't feel left out. Yeah. What message would you give there, Hafi?
Express yourself. No, I think as a youngster, the players don't really bother where you're from or what colour you are. I've witnessed that myself with the lads. They like being with them for years. They literally like my brothers. And it just being an Asian, it doesn't change anything. If you're good at what you do, you just do it, and no one's gonna stop you.
Top man. You heard it, guys. You heard it for yourself. But Hafiz Rahman, alhamdulillah, professional player, Preston North End. Inshallah, hopefully gets better with his injury, and we start seeing him playing in top flight football again. Just like to thank you very, very much, Hafiz Rahman. Thank you very much for coming onto the show, Sportstalk TV. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, learning from you, all your insights, and taking on all the messages. And I hope our viewers, youth in particular, can take all your messages on board, express yourself, and live the dream. Thank you very much for all your time, all your views, and all your likes and all your shares. Please do stay tuned with us. It's next week. We're back on next week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's your host, Hussein Mahmood on Sports Talk signing out at this time. See you all next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m.